When I took my very uncomfortable seat in the press bench yesterday, James for the first time wasn't beside me because he lost a decade-long fight against cancer in October and will be reporting no more. So I wanted to pay tribute to someone who I consider to be one of the finest journalists who's covered this case and whose coverage I would recommend to anybody who wants to understand the detail of what has happened up until now. But reflecting on the fact that during these protests, during these events that so many of us have been to now over years, our lives are moving on, our lives are changing, and while clearly the sacrifice made by Julian Assange languishing in Belmarsh is by some margin the greater, we too are out here on rainy days, on cold days. We too are spending time away from our families, away from our friends, to try and defend civil liberties as we all are. And I know on a day like today, that's not an easy thing to do, and it's easy to think why, when our friends roll their eyes and say, but you've been on so many Julian Assange demonstrations, why is another one necessary? And reflecting on this, I thought about some of the others who have spent long periods in jail. The Alfred Dreyfuses, the Nelson Mandelas, the Birmingham Sixers. And I found myself thinking, the thing about their cases is their names resonate decades, centuries after they were in prison, because the achievements that they made, either during their lifetimes or by their example, have benefited humanity for decades afterwards. And I have no doubt that if not already, the name of Julian Assange will join that distinguished roll call. Of all the arguments we heard in court yesterday, the one that struck me most hard was this. Everybody knows that the front page of the extradition treaty between the United States and the United Kingdom states that one cannot be extradited for political reasons. And we know that the American lawyers have engaged extraordinary sophistry to argue that this shouldn't actually apply. Julian Assange's legal team made a strong case yesterday that if we allow this to happen, it will extinguish a liberty that we have enjoyed for centuries. That protection that people have from extradition for political reasons, no parliamentary debate, no parliamentary decision has been taken to extinguish that liberty. We will be doing so, we will all be losing that liberty simply for the convenience of the American administration. So when we ask ourselves, why are we here in the rain, why are we here in the cold, I say to you, it's because we want to defend those civil liberties. We want to defend press freedom, and we want to see the freedom of Julian Assange. Join me. Free Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange.